Navigating long distance relationships. Okay, yeah,
Hello.
yes. Good evening. This is
Good evening. Good to be here.
how are you?
Happy weekend. Fine, thank you.
Well, how's your day going, rather?
Very,
I was
very
even trying.
restful.
I was trying to be, and then it's joined. I was still having issues accepting. That means your network is fine. Mine is just a pack of
What
what
are
I
you
don't know.
using?
It's Swift. Then sometimes I
Okay,
switch
okay.
to MTN. I switch to MTN sometimes because of network palaver.
So are we waiting for
So
Mora or are
I
we
don't
starting the
know.
conversation?
I think we'll start. We don't always have to do the full hour, so it's always good to start when at least we are two. Maybe she'll join in. I also wanted the new member to be here. At least let us see how it works.
Okay.
So this topic is something that many people don't like to talk about, even though we don't have many people who have experienced it, right? And
Why,
another reason
why, do,
why
why do you
people
think
don't
we don't
like,
have so many people that have experienced it?
I hardly the first question is, or rather, the first statement I'll make to answer your question is that a lot of people don't believe in it. There's this fear, when someone says, I have to travel or I have to, just that statement alone, it brings some kind of disappointment. And some people feel like if we are not around each other, things cannot work. But you see, I think there's always something like taking a chance, right? If both of you love each other, and then there's no, I know we have we have now moved a lot into what we are supposed to talk about, but it's basically the basis of it. So that's why I feel, and I've noticed many people around me, those that have been my friends, I don't see people who welcome Uche, welcome Kun, Olokun. I can't. Okay, Olariwaju. Let me just say Olariwaju. So
That's my pastor.
oh, really? Good evening, sir. I don't know. You're the pastor. So, okay. So, yes. So, once people hear, it's very common. I think even in my own, maybe those who are already heading to 40s, early 30s, middle 30s, a lot of people, they struggled with that word long distance relationship, and you hardly see, I hardly even hear testimonies of people who made it through, except those who were already married and had to separate for some time,
Even
of which
those ones used to break. Those
yes,
ones used
that's
to
why I
break.
said yes, some of them.
But I think we should even look at it. What are the things that make a lot of people think that long distance relationship does not work, because you can be in this Nigeria, two of you can be in this Nigeria, and you are still having long distance.
Yes.
Like you
For
are
example,
in this country, you are in this same Lagos, and you've not seen yourself in months. It's possible, depending on the kind of things that you do. It may be the kind of work that if you are the type that you have to travel for work. So I really don't see why a long distance. Okay, you want? Are the person? Is the person going to be staying in your house? Is the person going to be living on your
obviously,
streets? So what's making it not to work? I really want to know why people. So maybe we would have that conversation.
like okay, if we look at the movies, for example, now Jessica, you will see that there's always this cringe. I don't know, there's this fear of maybe we might not continue because you're going to meet many more people. That's how a lot
Eh,
of people look at it. That he might not stay committed to us.
I don't
Now, so
agree.
that's why we want to talk about it today and how we can make it work. Let's not have fear about things that
I
you
think,
can
yeah, I
make
think we should really
sense.
talk about it. And it's good that so that anybody who watches this live after can even benefit from the conversation. Because I find out
Exactly.
that a lot of us, especially from this part of the globe, we tend to be very stereotypical. Once we hear,
Yes.
long distance, it does not work, everybody carries the idea, it does not work. Oh, have you sat down to think and say, why does this thing not even work? Because you can be living on the same street, that girl will cheat on you, that guy will cheat on you. So it's not really about, I'm not seeing her, I don't know what she's doing. It's even simpler now because we have devices, we have smartphones. You can call anybody you want to call free of charge. You just need to have like what, 10 MB or 100 MB on your phone. You don't even need to have a lot. There's a lot of resources. So what are people saying? I don't have. So for me, I may not necessarily think about, long distance relationship. I don't really have a problem with whether it is good or it is bad. What I have a problem with is, why have people come together to say it does not work? I really, and that's the part I don't understand. That's the part I don't
So
understand. So maybe we'll have to
So
talk
I
about
like I was saying, the first thing is that there's the myth and the stereotype concerning long distance relationship is what is really causing most people to say let's break up if time brings us back together, if fate bring. I'm like, which one is fate? So what will you be doing in the space of if fate? You will probably be seeing other
they'll
people.
be dating other
So I
people.
think, yeah, the first thing is setting goals and clear expectations because
Mm-hmm.
when two human beings are involved in something that has to be emotional, meaning I'm committed to you either for this courtship, because I don't see people just dating for dating sake. There has to be a clear goal. What are we actually doing? So that we can setting expectations should be the first thing. If we know that we are not supposedly in the same place. I know when I had the experience of a long distance relationship, I tried to do that, setting a goal like, okay, where are we heading? What are we doing? Where exactly? Okay, Mora is
All
here.
right, yeah.
Where exactly is this relationship going? So these are the things that either party should see together. And I think the mistake made here is that when maybe the lady is the one saying it, or the guy is the one saying it, Mora, you're welcome. And
Dickness
there's
Mora.
you're welcome. I'm very
Thank
respectful.
you.
Pastor
So,
Mrs. Ma, welcome, ma.
yes,
Welcome.
ma.
She has to attend to our congregation. Oh my God.
Yes, so the first thing is you have to discuss. Now, for example, if you maybe one person is already living far enough, let's say within the country but different states. Like there's even something you said that is so important. You might even be living in the same state and you're
You
still very busy to
still
see
don't know
each
what
other.
the person is doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there has to be clear expectations. You have to set it out. What are we doing? Where are we headed? These are questions that must be answered, right? I don't advise people to have a relationship that they don't know where they are going because we're not looking. Even if you're saying if you're terming it boyfriend girlfriend, it's not really for people that don't have a clear view and understanding of where they are going. So these are the issues. Sit down and discuss where are we going. You know that we cannot see each other like that, right? And even if we are seeing each other, and when I mean see, I mean physically seeing, it's not really going to be every day because people who are even getting set to get married, right? They are not
You
seeing
don't
every day. People go
see
to
every
work.
day. Don't you have a job?
Yeah, people
Don't have work.
have other responsibilities. So I think the issue is, yes, like Uche said, yeah, we're moving forward towards communication. So setting clear goals that is the number one thing that you should do, right? Having a goal and an expectation. So you ask questions and we answer. You speak with each other, right? And unfortunately, there are some cases that you said you ask questions either from the female or the male, and there are no answers. That should tell you that there's a problem. So right from the onset, you should be able to understand cues, take cues from someone's expression, right? You don't really need to ask too many questions from outsiders. When you're asking a question with your significant other and they're not responding, with the clarity, giving you clarity like you should know that you shouldn't be there. So that's why I'm starting with this. If there are no answers, if there are no clear expectations, and the person is not forthcoming with answering all of these important questions, then my sister, my brother, you need to call it quits before we now head over to the next thing. So these are things that you would see. You don't really need to speak to a counselor for some of these easy things that you can even get the message. There are some of us, we are the ones that are setting up every meeting as a female. You're doing everything. That's a sign that you are the one that is significantly more interested in this person than he is into you. Or if it's a guy, because I know guys are also here, if it's a guy, for example, who is doing everything um, to speak to this person and have answers to these questions about future expectations and goals, you need to understand that this person is not interested anymore. So before we now talk about communication, like Uche mentioned, yes, it's part of our outline. We said there has to be some form of trust and communication. And I'll still go back to the fact that even those living in the same environment are not spending the day with each other. It's not possible. You cannot leave everything you have to do to be with someone every single day of your life. Even those married, we can only come see each other in the night. We go to work, come back. We are not really spending the whole day every day. Oh yeah, it's not possible. So that's why we have to understand that these are things that we need to talk about, and we need to understand. So now let's let Mora talk about. Have you had the experience, and what do you really think is the reason why people should set clear expectations and goals in long distance relationships?
Okay, thank you. Have I had the experience?
How you laugh?
I really,
Our communication members are watching. The Lord is your strength. Speak out.
can you
Speak
imagine?
out.
Sister Jessica.
Don't worry, I'm just teasing.
It's fine. So I really support the whole expectation thing, knowing where you guys are actually going, because I saw one time I saw a meme that says that don't take yourself off the market because of someone that is still shopping, you know. So some people are still like not sure that they want to be with you. Some people are still like not sure
Their
that they
eyes
want
are still
you guys to get married. Yeah, their eyes are still everywhere. So I really support the whole expectation thing, because one thing about we women is that we are emotional and we easily just take our minds to what we feel is working. So because
wow.
like this guy is long
Exactly.
distance and we can just take a, but in the guys, my guys are very logical and they might even be acting like they really care and they really are. It's not like they don't care, right? But there are other things that they are unsure about. So having proper expectations, having proper communication, asking, oh, how many years, are we going to do this? And even you as the lady should be sure that this is the person that you really want to end up with, not ignoring very crucial red flags, but because it's not possible to have 100% perfect person, but there are very
Yeah.
significant red flags that cannot be
Mm.
ignored. So not ignoring significant, sorry, not ignoring significant red flags, and
Yeah.
you are sure that this is the person you want to end up with. Telling the person your expectation and hearing the person's expectation,
Sorry.
and even praying about it.
Thank you.
Sorry, and knowing that it is what you want to do before getting yourself engrossed in the long distance of it. So I really support the knowing expectations and having proper communication. And even in the aspect of communication, I really support it because, see, long distance is not easy. It's actually not child's play.
Why?
Why?
Any relationship is not easy.
Yes.
But this person, you are
I'm
not
bothered about the
like,
emphasis. That's why I asked why. Why exactly do we say it's not easy? Is it because we are not seeing each other?
yeah,
So now we have seen. What do you
because the
want us to
person is
happen?
in a total
We have
now.
seen each other. What
Okay,
wants to
so
happen? First,
let
we'll
me say
talk.
something. I know
Okay, maybe
someone
hold
that
hands or hug.
it's not about that. Oh.
Exactly.
It's just because there are so many curiosities that follow it because you are not seeing this person as regular as you should. So I know somebody that they were together and they even got engaged. It was not a long distance thing, but one of them had to travel, and she traveled for about a month. Sorry, about a year. She had to travel to another state. She had to move to another state and leaving the guy in Lagos. Do you know the traveling and everything? By the time she came back, what I heard was that they were already engaged, like he already proposed. I don't know why they didn't just get married. I heard that they are scattered. And
They were not meant for each other. It was not long
Okay.
distance that scattered them.
no,
One person traveled out of the
it
country.
actually seemed like they were, but the distance, they could not just keep up the distance. Because when I asked and I made my finding, speaking to the guy, speaking to the lady, they said they could not keep up the distance. They could not keep
Yeah,
up the distance.
so
Or
that's
not
why that's what we're talking about. Because I mentioned after the setting expectation and goals, we talked about this communication thing. I think that's where the keeping up felt like. So let me now give an example. Let me read Uche's comments. She said exactly, it is not easy. Out of sight is out of mind. Well, it's not for that. Like she said, my opinion. I like that she put my opinion because me, out of sight is not out
Because
of
there's
mind.
WhatsApp video call you. Hey.
that's still communication now. WhatsApp video call is still
Because
communication.
I feel like this thing
Because
is just like saying
WhatsApp.
it's just like saying marriage is bad. But marriage is not bad. It's the two people that is inside. Is either one of them
Yeah.
is doing something wrong or both of them are doing something wrong. So to me, I don't know, Sha, maybe this is also my opinion. I don't feel like there's
Yes.
anything
Okay. Now.
wrong with long because it's the same thing you are doing when you are in Nigeria and the other person is in UK. It's the same thing you are going to be doing when two of you are living the same street in Lagos.
Thank
But
you.
you
Not
still get
just
to see
to
now.
see
You can still
to see each
see.
other and we talk.
See,
We can do that
let me
over the phone
bring.
and
Sister
it will be
Jessica,
okay.
there's a difference when you see somebody that you really want to be with and you are just having a conversation virtually. You should know this thing
No,
better
no,
than me now.
Mora. Let me explain
Why?
to you because you are feeling like the communication part is we can do video call, but you know that it can even be more interesting. We are going to move to that, but I think the first problem now that we can bring out of these issues of people saying long distance relationships are hard is trust and communication. If you're the kind of person who already has, you think you don't really trust your partner, meaning that you start having this kind of negative thought. What if my sister, you cannot be with that person again?
Exactly.
I
So it's not really.
you once you even as a guy, if you start having this, if you're now becoming obsessed and manipulative and saying what if she's with a guy, any guy that speaks to her is a suspect, there's a problem, right? That's not how relationship should go, because your now, for those of us who are already married, your spouse he has colleagues, he has many people that he or she associates with. Are you going to monitor? So if you're
Mm.
doing it before marriage, if you're doing it in a relationship that, oh, one person had to travel to school, but we love each other, we chose to be dedicated to this relationship, we chose to give it our best, then can we not make the distance work till we're able to be back together and finally settle down? So I think, like, I like what Uche said, that you have to, you put in the effort, right? It's just like you wanting to cook. You write a list. We don't, I think we as humans, we are careless about a lot of things. I'm sorry to use that word, right? But it's the truth. You know, we take time to do our makeup, we take time to arrange our clothes, but we don't want to give in the effort, we don't want to put in the effort to handle people that we claim to love with care. You don't tend to spend time um to plan. You understand? So when you see people celebrating 50 years of marriage, you think that it was just a walk in the park. When you see people celebrating 10 years, the 10 years were not just a baby that was born yesterday. There was work. Who told you there were times you did not want to move out of the house? No, they don't tell you, because everybody goes through that season. So I think the fact that we don't communicate, some of us, you can't even know when your partner has a problem. And when I mean partner, I'm not talking about husband. When I mean problem is that your spirit, as children of God, your spirit should inform you that something is not right when you even look at the countenance. Well, you see,
They have
we don't.
spirits. Some of them have removed spirit, so it's only cinema and love
But
is still
Jessica,
inside.
you feel
They
like
have
you
removed
have
spirits
something
away from the
against
matter. You
long
see, that's the
distance.
problem. That's the beginning of the problem.
Do you understand? So we are not putting in the effort. We are not trying to even say, okay, can we? Immediately you just hear, I think I need to go to school. You start panicking because you are already feeling like, oh, he's going to see other people that are better. Who told you that there are others that are better than you? They are just people that have their unique attributes. You are unique. So I think the first thing is, let us be confident in who we are to our partners. If it's a relationship, like she's already telling us something. Say, yeah,
Check in daily.
welcome, Chigozi. Good to have you here. Check in daily. Send text messages. I like that time. I'm someone that loves to write, and you know I'm very lazy now because we don't try to keep up all these things. I used to, I just like to write some short notes before, but now if you ask me, I'll be like, what? Children matter
Initial
has
wish
spoiled.
Because
wish.
you have paid your bride price now. You're
Thank
not doing
you.
anyhow.
Initial
So,
wish
but
wish.
I would teach those coming after me not to do that. You must keep up with your love languages. You must try. See, you can even have a dinner date on camera. Who said it's not
Yes.
possible? Some
Yes.
of us, we don't. That's what I say. We don't put in the effort. Maintain the intimacy, maintain the friendship, laugh like uh you are with each other. Dress up and say, ah, look at this outfit I just bought. What do you think? Make the person still excited. And it's not a one person thing. The other person try. So people will say long distance. Have you tried to put in the effort? You get tired. Make use of technology, like Uche just said. There were different. There was Skype before. There was Viber. I used to use Viber that time, even though my own long distance didn't work. I wanted the Holy Spirit to help me, and God just exposed that this person is not serious. I don't even cry. Why? Because once you notice there's a disconnection, yes, once you notice there's a disconnection, it's not a big deal. After 2 months that this person just ghosted me, no problem. God will be with you. And he replied me, the God will be with you.
Ah,
So so do you understand? So these are the kind of things that happen. Me too, I received when I say I don't know what I did to you. You didn't even tell me whether you're not interested or not. God bless you. I wish you a good life. And he replied me, but he did not talk to me for how many months. So you see, it's easy for some people to just ghost you like that. Thank God, at least God has carried trouble from your life.
exactly.
You won't be forcing yourself to be with a guy that is not ready to be with you. So sometimes, like I said, take note of the things that you see from their attitude. You already know that I don't belong here. But if you know that two of you really want this, that's why this communication is so important. You must speak out. Don't shy away and say there's no time. If someone that wants to be with you, he will create time. He will. And imagine if he or she now is from a well-to-do family. Some of them even come back for holidays. And if you're a priority, he will
That's where I was
look
going
for
to.
you.
I wanted to ask a question. I wanted to paint a scenario. So I have the money to be able to fly. Let's say this guy is in the UK, for example. I have the money to fly at least